J-Knight Batrep.
Hey everyone, welcome to another J-Knight Battle Report. As always, I'm Jay. That's my name. And today I am joined by
Kyle.
Kyle, all the way from?
I have like 5 different places, but St. Catharines currently.
Are you in the witness protection program?
No.
Good. Because if you're in the witness protection program,
You'd have to edit that out.
Yeah, we'd have to edit that. Sorry. He's from Albuquerque.
You will get it.
It's where Breaking Bad and Warhammer Girl are from.
Oh, wow.
Coincidence, probably. So, sorry, I like Warhammer Girl. I'm not making fun of anybody. So today, we're another game of 40k for you all, and it's going to be 1,500 points of my Tyranids versus
My Eldar.
Eldar. That's scary. Eldar, good. What have you got? What kind of Eldar? What's the theme of your list?
Speed, strength 6. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a great game. The final score was Jay's in trouble, but it'll be fun. We're gonna have a good time today. And today, just by random coincidence, I've decided to try out a new list, and you'll be seeing it. And it's a list of models that I don't get to normally play with for Tyranids, so it's gonna be fun. Oh, and just to let you guys know for a moment, Kyle, you're relatively new. You just got back into 40k a little bit ago. So if we make any mistakes, I'm not amazing at covering for Eldar. I don't know all the Eldar rules, and so if we make any mistakes, they're unintentional. Don't flame the guy. He's not cheating on purpose, or he might be, but I don't think he is. So without further ado, we'll get to the armies and the type of game. All right, so first we have 1,500 points of Tyranid awesomeness, led by the Swarm Lord. As you can see, Swarm Lord with 2 Tyrant Guard attached to him, and each of them have Bone Sword Lash Whip combination, which is really awesome because it'll slow down the opponent. And there are 3 squads of Hormigons with Adrenal Glands. And in the back, 2 Tyrannofexes. They have the Giant Rupture Cannon, and they have Regeneration and Toxin Sacks and a lot of stuff. Basically, this is just a fun list that I put together just to try out some units that I don't normally run with a lot of in the game, so it'll be fun. I didn't know I was playing Eldar ahead of time, just to let you know. And now here's 1,500 points of Eldar. An Autarch with Warp Gun generators and a Fusion Gun. And he's accompanied with a squad of Warp Spiders. They have an Exarch who has the double shooting capability, I believe, the double tap ability. And a Twin Link Death Spinner with Fast Shot, I believe it's called. 5 Rangers, pretty standard. Ten Dire Avengers with an Exarch with Shimmer Shield. And another squad of 9 Dire Avengers, no Exarch. And they're both in Wave Serpents. And they have Shuriken Cannons on the Wave Serpents. Here next we have the scary Dark Reapers with Flak Missiles. And they've also been upgraded with Star Shot, I believe, which makes them just extremely scary. And then 2 squads of 3 Vipers. They've been upgraded to Shuriken Cannons. And I believe they have Star Cannons. And that is 1,500 points of Eldar Trickery Scariness. So he rolls to see what type of game type it will be. And he rolls a 6, which means the Relic. 1 objective in the middle of the table. And he rolls for deployment. And he also rolls another 6, which means table corners. And then we roll to see if night fighting is in play. And he again rolls another 6. So night fighting's in effect. And then we roll to see who goes first. And as you can predict, he rolls another 6. I'm beginning to think shenanigans here. I roll a 5. And he decides that he is going to go first, since he has a very shooty army, and I don't. So here's what the table looks like after deployment. As you can see, he is lined up in his table corner. He ended up scouting those Rangers just outside of the, or infiltrating the Rangers just outside of his deployment zone. And then I lined up across from him, ready to just charge at him and try to take him down and run for the objective. Maybe grab it and bring it back to my side and keep in safety. So I try to seize the initiative, but I fail. So now it's Eldar, turn 1. He begins by moving up all his vehicles around just to get better lines of sight and to be able to shoot at my guys better. instead of just moving around. Also gives them their Jinx save. So the goal is definitely to move, because if you don't move, you don't get your Jinx save. It is night fighting, so basically he'll get like a 2+ Jinx save if I try to shoot at him. And then he moves up his Venoms. His Dark Reapers start the shooting by shooting at my Tyranids. They hit on 3s, so they missed it with actually most of them. And then they wound on 2s, get 3 wounds, but I get my armor save, I pass all 3, he's all good. Then the Venoms start unloading on the Hormagaunts. I get a 1 cover save, and he dies. His Wave Serpent then decides to shoot the Hormagaunts. He really wants to take them out so that they can't go for the objective. It's a bunch of hits on them. I roll my cover saves, fail all of them, so I lose about 5 or 6 in that shot. And then his Rangers decide to also shoot at my Tyranids to get a rend. They do get a rend. I get my cover save, and I fail. So he gets a wound off, still has 5 left. His Venoms then fire at my Tyranids and get 2 wounds on me. I get my 5 up, and I fail both once again. I'm not passing any saves, so hopefully better luck is coming my way. And Tyranids turn 1. So I start by casting Iron Arm on the Swarm Lord, and it goes off, which is great. I rolled for my D3, and I get a 2. So he's Strength Toughness 8 with Eternal Warrior. That's pretty nice when you have a Swarm Lord running down the field at your opponent. And then I just move up my Hormagaunts. This turn is basically going to be me moving them up and running them. And my Tyranids will hopefully get a couple shots off. Of course, he still gets 2+ cover save, because he'll get a Jink plus night fighting. So it's going to be pretty hard for me to do anything this turn. I'll just move up all my troops and run them so that they can get in a position to grab the objective next turn. And like I said, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll get a couple shots off at my opponent. So I just roll at the same time and run my Hormagaunts at the same time, because it won't really affect any of my shooting. So Tyranids tries to shoot the closest Wave Serpent. Now it's time to see if I'll do anything. In retrospect, maybe I should have shot the Venoms, because it would be an instant pen. But I get 1 hit and 1 glance. So he rolls his 3+ Jinx save and fails, actually. So the glance gets through, and 1 hull point is off the Wave Serpent. But I really didn't do much this turn. And then the other one tries to repeat this process with the other Wave Serpent. Gets 2 hits this time. 2 pens, but he has that crazy shield thing that knocks the pens down and glances on 2+, which he does. And then, but he still gets his 2+ cover save, or 3+ cover save, and passes both of them. So either way, he's good. And then I run my Hormagaunts. I get 3d6 because they have Leaping Bound. And yeah, they just move up to get in better position for next turn. Much of my turn will just be moving up and hopefully surviving 1 more wave of shooting so that he doesn't get first blood. And me being able to grab the relic and bring it back, because he only has a couple troops. So I'm really hoping to just take advantage of that and grab the relic and hold on to it for the 3 points for the game. And so I just continue to move up. And then I ran my Swarm Lord into the woods, but unfortunately it only rolls a 1, so it's more of a brisk walk towards the woods, just to give him maybe a little bit of cover. And then I roll for my regeneration, and I don't get any wounds back from my regeneration. So now after 1 turn, here's what the battlefield looks like. He's moved up, and he's now to basically separate across the board and just taking pot shots at my guys because he can outmaneuver me, and I'm going to run all my guys towards the objective. And now it's Eldar, turn 2. So he rolls for reserves to see if they come in, and of course they do. So the Warp Spiders drop in, he rolls to see if they scatter for their Deep Strike. And they hit, so it's great for him. He Deep Strikes them all in. These guys are really nasty, as you'll see, to shooting light infantry. They're pretty nasty. So then he continues just to maneuver his vehicles around, just to give them their Jinx save. If they don't move, they don't get a Jinx save, so you gotta move them. And once again, he's just lining up his good shots. Right now his goal is just to stay at bay, just keep shooting at me, whittle me down until I get small enough that he can approach me. So he starts off with his Warp Spiders, shooting at my Hormagaunts. They get a bunch of hits, and he 2s to wound. I roll my armor saves, and fail all of them. So in the end, I think I lose 8 of my, 9 Hormagaunts total. And then he decides to do his jump back 3 inches, or he uses combat tactics to shoot then run. His Wave Serpent then continues the defeating punishment on the Hormagaunts, and I don't even get to roll any saves. I don't get any cover, so I just lose another 5. And then he shoots the Tyranids with the Venoms. Now these guys are much more powerful because they'll go through his armor save potentially. I get 1 of my armor saves, and I fail my 2-up armor save, so he loses another wound, is down to 3. And his Dark Reapers then shoot up my Swarm Lord, and this is scary. Get a bunch of hits. I get my 5-up cover, and I fail 4 of them, which kills my 2 Tyrant Guard, giving him first blood. Luck is just not on my side today, but I'm going to keep trying. They then shoot at my Tyranids, and don't get any wounds. And then the Pathfinders shoot at my Tyranids, hoping to get a couple Rens. And they do get an armor save, and I do pass it, but he did get a Ren, so I did lose another wound. They then shoot the squad of Hormagaunts again. It's a reroll. And 2s to wound, so as you can see, 3 more Hormagaunts are biting the dust. It's pretty hard to keep these Hormagaunts alive with all this shooting, frankly, but it's okay. And then he uses his assault time to jump them back even further so that I can assault. Now it's Tyranids, turn 2. So right now I cast Iron Arm on myself again. And it goes off. And I get 3, so now his strength and toughness is 9. So that'll keep him alive probably for another turn as I run towards the objective and just try to claim it this turn. So as again, I am just running towards the objective with all my Hormagaunts, just trying to overwhelm the objective. And that way I'm hoping that it'll force him to come closer and that I can eventually get to him in assault. That's what Hormagaunts are good for. And the only problem is they're the only ones that can score this objective. So then I move my Hormagaunts and they grab the Relic. So right now it is technically 3-1, but the Relic is scored at the end of the game, so I'm not going to increase the score at the moment. So that one's more squad of Hormagaunts as well continues, as I said, just move them all up together to keep them in just a one big blob to go for my opponent. Plus also I'm down to only 1 more Synapse creature, which is the Swarm Lord, but he has an 18-inch range, so it's pretty easy to keep everyone in close proximity. My Tyranids shoots at his Wave Serpent, gets 1 hit. And then I get any 2s to glance, 3s to pen, and I roll a 1. That's not very good. Tyranids. And the other Tyranids shoots at the other Venoms. As I said, because it's an instant pen if it hits. So 1 hit, so he rolls his Jink. And he gets it. So nothing there either. So then I run my Swarm Lord. Once again, it's more of a brisk walk 2 inches towards the objective, just in case if he tries to go for it, the Swarm Lord will pounce on them and just rip apart everything. And then I try to assault my Hormagaunts intentionally. I don't care if that's Synapse. Actually, they'll probably still be in Synapse, but I just really want to take down that Wave Serpent. And I get 10 inches. That's plenty to get them in contact with the Wave Serpents. They'll be able to get in and hopefully glance it to death. Because they have adrenal glands, they'll be able to potentially glance the rear armor. And I do get a lot of attacks. They each get 3 attacks each. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. So they make it. They all pile in at their initiative. So they need 3s to hit because the vehicle did move. And I get to reroll 1s. But luckily I hit with all of them. And then 6s to glance. The first wave, there's going to be several waves of attacks. I get 1 glance the first wave, that knocks me down 1 hull point. And then on the second wave, I get another 6, so that's another hull point off. And on the third wave, I get a bunch of 1s, so I get to reroll them because of Scything Talons. And then 6s to glance, and I get 2 glances, so that Wave Serpent is done. He rolls for a pinning check for the squad inside. Alright, so after 2 turns, the score is now 1-0 because he got first blood.
Oh, you should have 3 because you have to close.
Technically, it's 3-1, but I would just relic at the end. But it's all good. This is gonna be voiced over anyway, but it or may not be. We'll see. If I'm feeling this, well, we'll see. Well, this part at least will be, may not be voiced over. The rest is going to be voiced over. So current score is he's got first blood. I do have the relic right now, but the relic guy is the easiest to kill. So that's cool, and we'll see what happens in turn 3. So now it's Eldar turn 3. Once again, he starts by moving up his vehicles all around so they get their Jinx saves and just maneuvering them around. He decides to get the Dire Avengers out of the vehicle. I roll quickly for my regenerations just to see because I missed them for last turn and they're still okay. And then he jumps his Warp Spiders back so that they can, once again, they can move and then they can run and then shoot, which is a lot of moving and shooting. Venoms move up, just to, once again, to get a good pot shot and keep at a distance from my guys. Maybe hurt the Tyrannifexes. And then they shoot at the Tyrannifex with the Warp Spiders. They need 2s to wound and 3s on the big dice with 6s rending. I roll all my my armor saves, and I pass all of them. But 1, so he loses 1 wound, he's down to 3. He then shoots the Star Cannons at my Tyrannifex. Need 4 wounds with 6s rending once again, and this time gets a bunch of rends and kills my Tyrannifex. The Dire Avengers then unload on the Hormagaunts, needing 3s to hit, and gets a bunch of hits, and now 3s to kill, basically. I will get a couple cover saves because a couple of them are in cover, but he does kill a bunch of them, as you can see. So I have to get to roll 5+ cover for the one in cover. He's good the first time, roll it again, and he fails, so he's dead now too. So I lost the relic once again. The guy dropped it where he was. And in the end, I lose 10 Hormagaunts to that one round of shooting alone. So then they shoot at the other squad of Hormagaunts trying to finish it off, because he's really afraid of these Hormagaunts. And plus they also can score. And kills 2 more of them. And then the Dark Reapers shoot at the Swarm Lord. Then the 5s to wound, 6s will be AP1 anyway, so 1 wound. I get a cover save. And I fail too. So he has 4 more wounds left on the Swarm Lord. His other Dire Avengers shoot at my Hormagaunts. And pretty much hit with almost everything. And once again, 3s to kill. No saves allowed. And I lose a whole more bunch of Hormagaunts. And the Rangers will use Battle Focus to run and shoot their pistols. So he gets to move, and he has fleet, so he also gets to reroll it. He gets 3 inches, and then shoots his pistols to just try to finish off those Hormagaunts. So he gets 4 hits, and as I said, these are Termagants, but they represent Hormagaunts. And kills all of them. And they're gone too. Then they shoot the Tyrannifex. So reds are AP2, blues rend. And I fail 1 of them. And he's now down to 1 more wound. So now it's Tyranids, turn 3. Right now I really gotta do something. Hopefully my 1 remaining Tyrannifex will be able to get a good shot off. I get Iron Arm off once again. I get a 2, so he's Strength Toughness 8. And I roll for my Initiative 1. And I get an extra 3, so now he's an extra +3 to initiative. I'm hoping now to get my guys into assault. Now that I'm close enough, there's a good chance I'll be able to get my guys finally into assault, do some serious damage to him, and then bounce back to grab that objective. So I move through cover with the Hormagaunts, 5 inches. And right now I'm really hoping that somehow I'm getting into close combat, because I would really like to do that and tie them up and destroy them. I did grab the objective, which means I can only move a maximum 6 inches during the assault phase. Luckily, I'm 5.5 inches away from them. So Tyrannifex first goes up, does 2 of his first 2 shots with his big rupture cannon, gets 1 hit, and then he shoots a Stinger Salvo, gets 2 hits, but no glances or pens on that one. Rolls his Jink, and fails, so I roll a pen of, and it's a 5. Plus, I don't know if they were open topped, maybe it should have been a destroyed, but it's okay. I roll to see if he gets into assault, and he does by rolling 12 inches. So he's into assault, and maybe he'll do some damage to those Venoms. So I try to declare my assault with the Swarm Lord. They decide to Overwatch, because they can hit on 6s and then wound on 6s. And he gets several hits actually with the 6s. And rolls, but no wounds. So I roll 3d6, take the 2 lowest because he's assaulting out of cover. I need a 6 for distance. And I roll a 2. He does have fleet now because of that cool psychic power. And I roll a 5 total. So he doesn't get in, and I just finish shy. That really is a bummer because he needed to get in close combat and just rip those guys apart this turn. So then my farther Hormagaunts decide to assault them. They've already overwatched, they can't hurt him. I roll 7, and unfortunately, I needed an 8. So they're short 2, no assault there. I do have fleet, so I get to reroll that 1 dice, 50-50 getting in, and I fail again. So not eventful there. And I try to assault my other squad of Hormagaunts, and fail, I reroll with fleet and roll the exact same numbers. So this turn has been very ineffective. I roll for my regenerations, perhaps a little early. I do get a weapon, a wound back. I get my Hammer of Wrath attack first. I hit and glance, and because that one hull point's already off, I kill the first one. At initiative, I pile in. They can't hurt me. I smash. Get 3 hits. Instant pen. So 3 pens. Roll for the first pen. Doesn't explode. Second one. Doesn't explode either. So it's just gone. Resurrect. And then the final one. I roll a 2. So it'll have to snap fire.
Disappointment.
So now, after 4
I wanted to
turns...
actually your thoughts, because I wanted to know how Dire Avengers could actually match up with them having counterattack.
What is their initiative?
6, 5, something like that. I don't know, 4.
6 or 5 would be
I
okay.
don't know.
4, they'd be in trouble. So after this turn, as you can see, Tyranids are in trouble right now because the Eldar are mowing them down pretty well. And yeah, but it's okay. We'll keep going and see what happens in the game. I still have a few models left on the board, and we'll see what happens in.
Eldar turn 4. So now it's turn 4. Let's see what happens. So as always, he starts by maneuvering away from my guys now so that I don't assault them. So right now his goal is just to move them around, get them as far back as possible during the movement. So it keeps them out of assault range and just keep shooting and shooting my guys. So the Warp Spiders, they decide to move forward with their jump packs and just mow down that remaining squad of Gaunts. Or Hormagaunts. They're not going to last very long against all the Warp Spider shots. I do get my armor save, but it's a 6+ armor save, so not much is going to happen there. And then he moves up his Dire Avengers through terrain. Rolls double 1, but so they just get into cover, and they'll be able to shoot as well. And then his Venoms move up once again, just to get a better line of sight at my Stormlord. Or Tyrannifex. So they shoot my Tyrannifex. Need 3s to hit. This time hit with only 2 or 3, 2 of them, and need a 4+ to wound, and no wounds. Then shoot with the other Venoms at my Tyrannifex, but this time get a lot of hits. And with those hits, they finish him off, because I can't pass any of my armor saves or cover saves from my life. They shoot at my Swarmlord. They get 5 wounds. I still have 4 wounds left, so I figure I roll, and I fail 4. So the Swarmlord is killed, and he gets Slay the Warlord for an extra victory point. They then shoot at my Hormagaunts, because right now there's not much left in my army. And finish off my Hormagaunts. And as you can kind of guess what's going to happen here, he uses combat tactics to move up and then shoot. Or sorry, shoot and then run, I guess, up forward. Oh no, yeah, he ran and shot so that he can wipe out the Hormagaunts. So he needs 3s to hit this final squad. And pretty much hits with everything minus 1 dice. So his rolling seems to be quite the opposite of mine. And with all those dice, wounds with all but 1. And so we start killing off those pesky Hormagaunts, just throwing them away because they're not lasting very long. And then I got a cover save for him. He passes his first one, but fails his second one. So he drops the relic once again. And there's 1 guy left. So I roll all my cover saves for that 1 guy, and he doesn't survive. So that's it. As you can see, there are no more Tyranids on the table. I essentially brought a knife to a gunfight. And that's why you don't bring fun Tyranid lists against the new awesome Eldar. But it was a fun game. Hearty handshake. It was a lot of fun. And it's an Eldar victory. So thank you very much for watching this battle report, and if you'd like to see another fun battle report between Kyle and I, but this time I bring a more competitive list, click on the link below for a 7-day free trial to the MiniWarGamer Vault. In addition to seeing this battle report, you will also gain access to many more battle reports and some awesome MiniWarGaming videos. So till next time, this is Jay saying, happy wargaming everyone.